Alright, so this is my relatively uninformed post on the situation before I just listened to people talk about it and did research on my own. Um, yeah, so I go on to say, and this is in super poor taste. Netin, don't know Netin, probably just wants to glass the place and bets on the migration of others to not go well, and that might be the final colonial strategy that is out of their hands. So what I meant by that is, unfortunately, I was quoting Kanye when he was on Alex Jones. Like, in the comments, you can blast me with how retarded that is. Yeah, I kind of regret posting that because nobody fucking knew what I was saying, I bet. Um, but yeah, anyways, and I kind of assumed just without knowing the open air prison that this would lead to mass migration that would lead to another aspect of genocide, of lack of peace when they're met up with a population in a different nation via immigration. They're not accepted, and that creates more type of social turmoil. Um, and so that'll mostly look like it's out of Israel hands and Netanyahu's hands, but I mean, we know who set this match off. All right. So, and I go on to say, the cycle continues, and it clearly makes no sense to give up in the war. Anti-war sentiment has been used as a war strategy that comes off peaceful. So before I realized that this was a cycle of colonial activity, or maybe I knew that already, but I kind of thought this wasn't. I don't know what I was thinking when I actually made this. Um, and then I backpedal, I believe, from this by saying, though dogpiling a place of 2 million is kind of crazy, and Donald Trump Jr.'s comment was definitely icing on the historical relevant cake. Those particles are rising. All right, so this is kind of stupid. Um, so the Donald Trump Jr. thing, he said that the trans community is basically the same as Hamas. That's what I was criticizing. And I basically think that when we're this close to like war, and with how close this was to um the laws, the anti-trans laws in America, how that was syncing up with conservative rhetoric and support with Israel. Like, it just seemed that a combination of anti-trans, LGBT, and like genocide at this level almost felt like a Hitler particle. Um, you know, the particles of war that seem familiar. Okay. Because in the Weimar Republic, like, trans people were heavily persecuted, and the pink upside down triangle, that was the badge that gay people were given during the Holocaust, so it seems relevant. And I went on to go with, and with disagreement of Israel actions just as a nation overlapping with anti-Semitism against individual Jewish people, it will not be easy to talk about, and that's well known. Citizens are obviously caught between the beef, or they have to go along with supporting their own. Okay, so I think I agree with this. I think this is fine. People will. I obviously didn't put the Zionists versus Jewish people comparison, or what's it called, designations where they're different. But I wasn't really thinking about that far. But overall, I agree with that. And I think this is the end of this post when I lastly said, oh, okay, I guess I am done. Really? Jeez. Thought I said more than that. Okay. um. Oh, yes. So there are gay people in Palestine, and people want to act like the demographic of Palestine with radical Islamists, um, like as if gay people are a separate demographic from Arabs. There's gay Arab people, so it just conservatives sort of want to act like, did they know that Palestinians hate gays? Like, that's not even the point. A whole demographic doesn't hate gay people. I'm sorry. So, okay, so I posted this video. It was liked, but I posted that there are Hitler particles within this one example that I gave called the Farhud, where Hitler uh, went to the Middle Eastern world and sort of was wrapped up and embroiled in support by other Arabs and some, other nefarious entities from the region. And me pointing this out as a sort of rising in the Hitler particles of the region, and maybe that's why a different type of anti-Semitism might be in the Middle East because of the influence of actual Nazism in that region. So I guess but me pointing that out, I can understandably maybe somebody thought I was dog whistling towards the Palestinians or something. Um, it's unfortunate. You can never get your point across to the fullest extent. Anyways, so I said here, so the individual Palestinian Nazis historically are connected directly to the gas them rhetoric from the Frankenstein monster Hitler himself, who we know gathered ideas from British government and American governments. Palestinian doesn't mean Nazi unless we are all lumped in. So what I meant here was to sort of de-essentialize Palestinians and the radical Islam types, which honestly, I wrote this assuming that the American Nazis would somehow rally by the Palestinian Nazis and sort of become this ironic cabal against whatever they decide to hate in America, but that's not what's happening. For the most part, the conservatives are rallying by Israel. So, okay, so I said on this Israel-Gaza point, I said, I get the impression that nuance is tough for people. Nazi Germany bad, most nations colonized bad, anti-Semitism bad, Israel causing genocide bad. If you're purely for Israel without making distinctions from citizens, history, and government choices, you don't care. So I think it's right that I posted this, but again, since I don't really have an audience that talks to me, it's just me vaguely saying a thing, and as much as I try to express, good faith and try to explain myself in some ways, I can understand why nobody would say anything. Because again, there might be a point in here that accentuates something they're scared of talking about because it might be genocidal in nature in some way, because the situation is highly heightened, and any sayings like free Palestine or something like that could just be a dog whistle or anything like that. So I can understand why there was no communication. All right, just wanted to talk about that. All right, see ya.